So this is probably one that you might want to get a pen and paper out for, guys, because if you're trying to commit this stuff to memory, I'm telling you guys that you'll wake up tomorrow morning and barely remember a thing. So writing notes just as a rule of thumb in any training, I think is important, because even the basics, when you go over and over and over again, when you get different people delivering the same basic content separately, you pick up different things. Like, for example, as a technique for follow-up, Bobby just picked up that, and I haven't heard this in a while as well, that just on Coach Academy then, that if you ask them what type of follow-up they want, kind of makes sense, doesn't it? Some people just want to use the products and never be spoken to ever again, and other people know they'll need a daily check-in and that type of thing. So it's important to ask the questions, right? So what I'm going to do now is open up the Facebook page and go here. And one of the main themes here is getting them. So you've got a new member and then actually getting them to do something, which we're going to talk about, which is in a roundabout way called the art of promotion. I'm just going to make a little checklist here and then just tell you guys everything I can remember right now on the topic. So closing the deal, getting them to order, which is all promotion. Asking the right people. And then we got getting people into events, art of promotion, prospecting. All right. So what I want you to do, I'm actually not looking at Zoom right now, just while I'm reading this out, guys. If you have listened, I've said this probably every royalty workshop for the last, I don't know, on average, 6 months, I think. So if you have listened to Eric Worre GoPro, which is all about this stuff, can you please write yes or give me a thumb or something in the chat? Okay, Bobby just said she has been on the whole thing. What if the bit you haven't listened to is the most helpful bit?
I know, right?
I know. Kills the mind, doesn't it? And the second question is, when you're listening to it, are you taking notes / listening to it in a condensed period of time where it's actually all going to make sense? Not doing like 30 minutes Monday and then in 6 weeks' time doing another 10 minutes, like actually doing it with the intent to learn. Because everything I've learned from prospecting is actually from that and inviting, it's the same type of thing, is actually in that thread. Okay, so now we're talking about prospecting, and we're actually talking about cold market prospecting. Adriana is in this. So Adriana asked the question in the thread on Facebook, which is kind of like the start of the whole thing. So let's start from the start of the recruiting process. Number one, when you look at your 90-day plan, I just want you to have a look at it and think, how many lines, how many recruiting avenues do I have for lead generation? Any? Is it all retail? Because if you'll get what you focus on. So if all your lines and your whole 90-day plan revolves around retail, that's fine, but you have to have a way to recruit them via retail. If you don't have that way, what I suggest you do is chuck a couple of lines in on recruiting, either replace, add on top of. So if you're doing flyers and you're just doing a retail flyer, it's not difficult to do a recruiting one at exactly the same time together. I do that. For me, if I'm looking at your 90-day plan, if I know, like a lot of people, that people are just good at different things, right? So someone like Meg, for example, she's really good at retailing to recruit. I think a lot of her lot of her business building members come via retail, which is fine. She knows she can do that. So that's how she fills her funnel, right? So someone like me, not so good. I don't really know how to retail to recruit. I just retail to them and try to build a relationship and then let the community do the work, right? So that's my kind of method for that. But I'm more of a flat recruiter type of guy. My intention is to recruit people into the business because as a law of thumb, guys, when you look at the marketing plan, the reason why you're not where you want to be is because you don't have enough supervisors in your business. Or you're not supervisor yet. Remember, this is Royalty Workshop. This is how you build a check. Okay, so when you boil that back, how do you get supervisors in your business? You bring, simply, and of course it's a little bit more colorful than the black and white I'm about to say, but you're bringing in new members in your business. And what I know is 1 in every 7 members in our Australian operation become a supervisor. So if you want to bring in 1 supervisor every 2 months, you need to recruit 3 to 4 people, either VIPs or business builders a month. And if you want to bring in, and now we're talking our 3 levels, if you want that process to duplicate and then you start to bring in, more like 2 to 6 supervisors a month, which is millionaire team type of momentum, then you have to duplicate that process a couple of times with your people. So the real trick is, how do you actually recruit? Are you trying to recruit? Is there any focus on recruiting? And if there's not, it's time to re-scramble the 90-day plan and start to add that because, I'm not saying take all your retail out. Definitely not saying that. People need cash in their pocket, and that's fair enough. When I first started, I looked at the marketing plan. I thought, well, I'm not I've got a roof over my head and I've got food on the table, so I'm not gonna focus. I don't need cash right now, and my use where talk will take care of my retail, or particularly my use and my wear. So then from there, I was just inviting people into opportunity meetings. So what's an opportunity meeting? It's a situation where your prospect or your person is hearing the facts of Herbalife from a business perspective, and they're hearing some testimonials, and you're not doing the talking. So that could be a 3-way call with me. Cole just done one the other night. She registered, I think. Cole, you said she did. It could be a situation where they're in front of the video, which is a 15-minute video. Could be a situation where they're at a BTS/SDS/ mock-up open house. If you guys have 3 to 4 people or 2 to 3 people in a space, I'm there to present the opportunity to them, just so you know. If you got people that need to talk on the phone and they're actually interested in what we do, I'm there to talk to them. Yeah? So yeah, what's the focus? That's the first question I want to ask you guys. Well, what's your focus? And when you look at the marketing plan, logically, what should it be? That's a question that you can answer yourself. Secondly, and these two kind of go together, I've got prospecting and I've got law of averages. A lot of you guys don't do enough numbers to actually give yourself the chance of any success. If everyone you asked said yes, then this would be a very easy business, and I'd be probably sitting somewhere like Founder Circle Plus. You guys would all be president's team for sure. It'd take 3 months, and everyone would be doing it. Would have no clients. So it's not that easy. So unfortunately, the numbers are probably looking like 1 in 10 or maybe 2 in 10 people say yes to the opportunity and go on and do something with it. 1 in 7 become a supervisor. So technically, I guess that's something with it, right? So of that 1 in 7, how many people do you have to ask to get your 7 people every month? When you boil it back, if it's 2 out of 10, you need to ask 30, right? And we've all got so many people on our, hopefully everyone's completed their memory jogger and it's loaded from the top. So that's a good place to start. But then it kind of comes back to prospecting. We have face-to-face interactions with people every single day, and what we do to them can determine our success, right? Not what we do with them. So do those conversations for you? Do they end in invitations? And a super simple way to do it is you just need to find your comfortable set of words on how to get them in that environment where you can get their details and set up some type of meeting where they're watching the video or whatever your open house strategy is for you. Just do whatever's easy, guys. And the other real key tip, just while I'm thinking of it, is never leave one exposure without the other one booked in, meaning you just met this person and then the next exposure for them is to get on the video, right? Like, or I'll message you later. That's their next exposure. Then you message them later and say, blah, 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 do the chat, blah, 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 blah. Okay, jump on this video and check out more information. So that's their next exposure. And then when they're about to jump or when they've agreed to that, I'll say, okay, so when can you actually watch this video? And they'll say 5 tonight. I'll say, great. I'll message you at 5:30 to see if you see an opportunity for yourself. So I'll message them at 5:30, right? And then after that exposure, I'll say, great, you should come and check out the business model. Come into the club, meet some of the guys. Do you like working out? Come in the box fit, get in the community, and start to expose them to the community. And then after that, I'll say, okay, so let's meet up tomorrow and go through your map list. Let's meet up tomorrow, bring in 20 goals, we'll go through your goals. So it's never ending. You know, there's always something that I know they're going to be going to. Yeah, and if they don't, you know, I don't know if you guys will actually know this name, but Jorge La Concepcion, who's the other half of Fit Couple. If you don't know Fit Couple, they went Chairman's Club in 6 years, which means they've got 5 different lines of president's team. They're probably banking $250,000 a month. And like when he was on stage at Honors 2 years ago, he said the way he defines leadership is giving people advice and instructions and seeing what they do with it. Right. So if these people aren't showing up to stuff, guys, then we just need, like, it goes back to law of averages. Like, we just need new people. The problem is we keep circling around the same small pond of people when the sea's over here that's full of ocean, but we're swimming around this little pond of people, you know, 3 or 4 people, and they're continuously saying no, and there's a really good chance they're probably not going to say yes ever, but they're just leading you on enough. So you keep messaging, hey, what's going on? And you end up that annoying network marketing friend, and then they stop talking to you eventually. And then you think it's your fault. But realistically, they just weren't doing what they were saying they were going to do, and you were trying to get them to do something that they were saying they were going to do, which is probably not the person you want to be working with anyway. Yeah? So put your hand up if you're working with those people right now. You've been chasing these people for 3 to everyone, right? So you just need to focus on the new people, because that next person that you message, you might be thinking, like, and I get this all the time, like myself personally, I'm like, why isn't everyone easy like you? Like, they're like, okay, I'll come in for a scan. Okay, I'll grab an ultimate pack. Okay, I'll come to the Fit Club. Like, they're actually doing everything you say, whereas other people that you tend to focus 80% of your energy on are never going to do those things. It's kind of like George calls it the boy-girl theory. You know, boy wants girl, girl's not interested. Boy doesn't want girl, girl's interested. Right? So it's the same type of thing with this. So I guess the message is, guys, it's a law of averages. Yeah. So we've just got to consistently, and the real key word is talk to new people every single day. And just set your number and just start those conversations. And the real key is don't just go for the throat straight away, guys. Like, actually have conversations, because if you're working through conversations, when it's time and someone says, for example, in the star squads, they're like, hey, okay, guys, let's do some invites. And the lazier your invite, meaning copy and paste, the less success you'll have. Just as a little rule of thumb as well, based on my experience. So if these conversations are already happening, guys, then it's a pretty easy invite, because you've actually got enough intel on what they've told you to actually form a good invitation. So they might be saying things like, oh man, work sucks, my boss is an asshole, I don't have enough money to go on the holiday. Life sucks, blah, 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 blah. I want to travel. I wish I could do this, blah, blah, blah. I want to lose weight. Well, whatever. People actually naturally talk negatively, and all you have to do is just be aware that you have a solution in your back pocket. And it doesn't mean you have to just go, like, every time they bring something up, do that. Yeah, you can bide your time. It's called, I think Christy Walsh calls it sweet potatoing. They take a while to cook. You don't have to like just eat that thing straight away, raw. Be disgusting. Like, cook it a little bit. And if you're consistently having those new conversations every single day, it's not a problem. But if you're talking to one new person a week, it's a problem, because you still it's the small pond versus the vast ocean. Yeah. So make sure that we're I guess spreading our law of averages. But back to prospecting, guys, it's kind of like I said, like the world's literally, like the human race right now is literally a pool of leads. So I don't know how many billion people are left on the planet that aren't in Herbalife, but it's a lot. It's a large percentage, a very, very large percentage. So, which presents a massive opportunity for us, right? So if we can learn how to form an invitation, and I always found the recruiting pitch easier, but it just kind of depends for me. It's either Fit Club, because I find that pitch easy as well, but you've got to find what you like to do with Herbalife, and then there's actually passion behind the invitation, right? So, for example, for a Fit Club invitation, I'd say something along the lines of, like, it's the checkout, blah blah blah, chewing the, what's it called? Chewing the fat, I think it's called. And there's another one. And I've got all these good sayings lately. Like, I'm just reeling off the old boy, old Newmarket hotel bartender sayings. Anyway, so the my easiest inroad, and it's the easiest thing I've experienced, and actually Susan Butterworth taught me this, was just saying, quick question. Did you know that we run free group community workouts that are kid friendly up the end of Dean Street 4 times a week? And they'll say, nah. And I'll say, I know you're working, so let me grab your details on Facebook. Open my Facebook, give them my phone. They'll put their details in. I'll say, I'll send you the schedule later. What time do you knock off? And the reason I like using Facebook is when they add you back, it gives you a notification, so you actually know they've added you, and it reminds me to, oh shit, that person, and I send them the schedule. And of course, don't just send them a schedule and nothing. Like, hey, met you at Target or whatever, and I try to remember what it is and put all the pieces together. What goals are you trying to achieve? Would love to see you down there, and actually try to build some rapport with the person. Not just send them the schedule. What type of workouts do you like to do? And just ask lots of questions, guys, and actually be a listener. Because you can ask one question, but it won't be till the 3rd or 4th or 5th. It's kind of like closing a really hard sell. It's not till the 4th or 5th actual close that you actually get the real objections. It's the same with invitations, I think. Like with us, it's not till the 3rd or 4th question until you get the real stuff. And you don't have to ask in-depth questions. You can say stuff like, what type of workouts do you like? Do you have kids? Because it's kid friendly. Yeah, it's really hard to find a gym in Albury that does that, right? Or whatever that thing is for you. It doesn't have to be that. That's just what I do because I'm prospecting in Albury, right? Majority of the time. Anytime I'm anywhere else, it's always recruiting, because I don't know. I'm not super clear. I find I'm confident when I'm really crystal clear in what I'm doing. So if my show up schedule is down to the T, I know exactly what I'm doing. So if I was doing free health scans in Albury, for example, that's what I'd invite them to. I'd say, it's an appointment only. We can show you your body fat, muscle mass. Do you have any health goals at the moment? And this is at the checkout, right? And they'll say, yeah, I'd love to use 10 kilos. And say, hey, I'm not going to, let's not talk about this here. You're at work, right? And I don't want you to get in trouble. What's your Facebook? I'll invite you. Let's set up a time. We'll come in, have a tea, just have a chat, see if we can help you. So that would be a rough version of my health scan. And of course, you kind of have to change it, guys. Like, there's no perfect invitation. You just have to be really clear on what you want to invite them to, and you also have to be brave enough to actually do it, because you'll find once you start doing it, guys, it's not actually hard or scary. You actually get a bit of a rush out of it. It's nearly addictive. Like, you nearly have to have a degree of fearless. Like, for example, Tash Gillian and I went out and done surveys today, and I'd never seen Tash Gillian in the field before, but we were so proud of her because she's like fearless, wandering up the tradies. Hey, got a minute to fill out this survey? It's just and other people think about it so much that they think themselves out of it, and they say, Grant Cardone says that time fuels all fear. So the more you think about it, the more you hang on it, the more you leave it, the more scared you're going to be, and you'll never do it. But if you just wander up and put yourself in that situation where you're like, shit, I can't bail here anyway. I'm too committed. I'm already talking to this person already. And what's the worst that can happen, guys? Honestly, they say no. You know what was even better about today? Tash today, her first person that she asked was a blunt no. Nah. And she's like, okay. And went and done got another 4 leads in the park, walking around with Harrison, which could also be an excuse. So we're super proud of it. So guys, and like I was saying, when I'm away or when I'm recruiting, or when I'm just solidly focused on recruiting, I always say to people something along these lines. And once again, you have to find your comfortable set of words. But I say, hey, question. My name's Jared. I actually run a lifestyle center here in Albury, we're partnered up with a nutrition company here in Australia, or however. It just depends on where I am, right? If I'm in Albury, I want to talk about the club because I want people to actually go to the club and meet me and have a tea and see the space and see, like it's a real thing, like a concept. But if I'm international or somewhere around Australia, it'll be more along the lines of, hey, hey, quick question, because people always stop to listen when you say that. And I say, my name's Jared. I'm a part of Empire of Nutrition. We're expanding our nutrition company Australia-wide. I'm looking for a couple of guys here on the Gold Coast that we can train to run their own business. Do you know anyone who's either looking to make an extra $500,000 a month, or is a bit more ambitious and would like, some serious freedom? Do you know anyone like that? And then just wait to see what they say. If they say no problem. If they say yes, say cool. Can I grab your details? Is that person you by any chance? And they might say, yeah, I'd love to have a chat. You go, great, I'll fly home tomorrow. Well, that's what I always have to say. So when can we meet? And that's it. So I guess the point is, guys, prospecting is one of those things that if you think about it too much, it'll never happen. Just do it, guys. Just know a quick way. Like, I dare everyone on this call tomorrow to have 5 of those conversations with someone that they talk to anyway. And I'm not talking COI. I'm talking cold market. So it matters even less if they say no, because good chance you'll never see them again. If you do, you never recognize them. Yeah. So let's talk about people that we do know, and a way I invite in to check out the opportunity. Number one, people that you know are harder, I think. But the thing is that when I was at Extravaganza in Europe a couple of years ago, I think it was David Bevan, who's a Chairman's Club as well. He was on stage, and he said, out of the President's team, which was, so the stage is in the middle, and the President's team are all sitting around, and I wasn't in there, by the way, then. He said, if you got recruited by someone that you knew, so a COI, and it doesn't have to be your best friend to be a COI, someone that you knew before Herbalife, like with Rowan, we weren't like best friends. We're playing netball together and there's a bit of banter, and then we become really good friends after. But we weren't exactly, we weren't best mates in high school or anything. The guy's 50. So he was just someone that I knew. And they said, stand up. And literally 80% of the president's team stood up. So, see, I don't think, did Meg know you, Katie?
Brother.
Hey?
She knew my brother.
Oh, okay. Don't ask. So let's not go. We won't go down that path. So the I guess the question that we have to ask ourselves is, our diamonds, our 5 diamonds, there's a really good chance are in our phone right now, and we just have to have the courage to actually form a good invitation and ask them, and have these conversations rolling, right? And some ways I invite is I say, so I just got off a call with my sponsor, mentor, whatever you want to say, Jared, or I used to say Rowan, of course, or Gary DeBradner, or Rob Walsh, because I was in the meetings, or whoever I knew they would probably have an interaction with at some point. So it kind of connected the dots, right? And he said, we're looking for ambitious, intelligent people who we could teach and who have a little bit of an interest in nutrition, depending, like if they have that type of background, sports and nutrition, or who have some type of business sense, if they've kind of got their own business stuff going, or if they have some type of IT background, great, or that you really like their Facebook and social media, so that you feel like they have social media skills, great. Like whatever that next thing is, just depends on what your opinion of them and what they're good at is, which is probably what they're good at, right? Because if you're sitting there thinking this person's really good at this, or it might be someone who's got sales skills, or it might be someone that you think's charming, or someone that's popular, or someone with a really good network in the area, or whatever it is. Like there's always something that's a really good, like Herbalife's such a broad company, there's always something that suits. And then I say, so for example, if it was who's on the call, if it was Matt, I'd say just got off a call with my sponsor and mentor Rowan, and we're expanding a nutrition company in the local area, or if they're somewhere else, into your area, wherever that is. And we're looking for some key people. He said look for people that are, if it was Matt, very good looking, very good facial hair. No, like intelligent, but more important, teachable, ambitious, have some type of coaching experience, because I know he coached the dogs, but also have business experience, because I want to recruit up in my business guys. Like I want people who already have these skills and these ambitions, and they know there's more than a 9-to-5 type of scenario out there, which is fine for a lot of people, but a lot of people want out of that after they've been in it for a while as well. So I'd be talking from the business point of view and the coaching point of view, because Matt, if you didn't know, he coached the Ginger Bulldogs for a couple of years. And I'd say I thought of you. Like, is there a time, like, are you open to creating additional streams of income for yourself? And if so, is there a time that we could actually sit down and have a chat and a beer or a coffee, or, make it, because this is Australia, right? People don't like formal things really, because they feel like I'm going to get pressured or whatever. So just say, is there a time where we can catch up with a beer with my sponsor, my mentor Jared, or a coffee with Jared, or a tea up the club with Jared, and we actually have a chat about what we're doing? It mightn't be for you, and that's fine. You don't want to feel like they're obligated. Like, I'm really indifferent with this type of invitation, especially with my friends. Bullio, sorry. It mightn't be, I know it was Bulldogs. So, it mightn't be with, it mightn't be for you, and that's great. But it might be as well. And this guy's banking 45 grand a month. So it'd be worth the chat anyway. That would be my invitation to someone that I knew, and still is. Except I'm more of my invite more now is I don't really mention the money, because what I find is a lot of my CEO I've watched. So I'll say something like, why don't you come in and meet some of the, like, especially if they're like a mom, I'll say, come in and meet some of the mums. We've got ladies at the club making $3 grand a month from home around the kids. Like, it's worth a look. And that's the type of my invitation. So it's really indifferent. There's no pressure, but I make sure that's a verbal thing. That's not a message, because they need to hear the passion. Because people can read a message like that and go, ooh, but if they hear it, they can hear the indifference in my voice. Yeah. And depending on how you know that person is kind of how you'll invite them, right? But if you're copying, like I made the mistake, guys, after my first meeting, I reckon at that point I had about 450 Facebook friends. And this was a mistake. I went home and I was so excited, and we had like 3 beers after, so I was a little bit drunk as well. Schooners. And I got home, cracked another beer, and I thought, right, I'm going to invite a shitload of people into this and see what happens. 450 people in the night, all got the same message. How many people you reckon wrote back? I'll give a protein bar to anyone that guesses right. And 0 isn't the right answer. Some people wrote back, but the percentages were very, very low. 3? No, it was more than 3. It was 12. 12 people out of 450. I was sitting there going, I kind of thought I had friends. But the thing is, people don't respond to that stuff anymore. You start to put some hashtags on your Instagram these days, and you get, like, I get one of those messages a day that are just a copy and paste. You don't even look at it. You don't even write back. So does that, and then there's the getting the people to order. And what I feel like we're not going through with people as a team, and this comes back to art of promotion as well. With promoting, it's a what's in it for them scenario. There's not what's in it for you. And you can't just tell them to do something. Like, why should they be ordering that product when they first sign up? Are they signing up to do the business? If so, you need to make it really crystal clear that their body's their marketing. Especially when they first start, because you only get one crack at that first result. No, yeah. The other thing, I'll sit down with them and pretty much, say, like, if we're going to get started, it's okay if you start on a shake, but if you can start on an ointment pack, it's even better. That's what I started on, and I felt great. People noticed. I made $700. How did I make that $700? 3 people said, "What are you on?" And I said, "Well, ointment pack." Now, I didn't know there was another pack. And they said, "Okay, well, I'll have one. How much is it?" And they put the money in my bank, and I sent them one. That was pretty much the story. That was it, because I was smashing the products. So if they're not smashing the products, then how can they do the business? They can't, really, because it's probably the core thing that I've heard in every trading ever. Use Where Talk. Do you like my cup? It's a big smiley face that says smile. Because sometimes when I'm looking at my BizWorks and I check the reporting on recruiting, I need this cup. So that's why we keep having these conversations, right? But guys, the art of promotion is super important. If you can, and it comes with being a good listener as well. But like, another question for you guys: if you're signing up someone for the business, are you treating them as a client? Because if someone signs up for the business, they will do to their clients what is done to them, because they won't know any other way. So Matt's really good at follow-up, because I'm guessing Meg followed him up. So he's like, well, that's just what you do. It's kind of like if you come into the business via Fit Club, you'll be really good at inviting a Fit Club somehow, and that will be your focus. So you always do the business. The business is perceived the way you're brought in and what's happened to you. So the question you've got to ask yourself is, when someone comes in, are you doing a health scan on them? If that's the way you think, like, is a good way to do business. Are you doing the full customer care? Like, are you doing all these things? Are you sitting with them and treating them like a client? Because for a new business builder, their result is probably more important to you than a client, I would say. Like they're all important, but in a matter of growing your business and your royalty check, I would argue that theirs is even more important. A business builder. So are we going through that process? Is that a thing we're doing? Because that's what I've been doing, and that's why, I haven't had a new client not order for ages. A new business builder. The other thing I've been doing as well is when I'm setting them up on their 20 goals, I'm going through use, where, talk, and why using is so important. And their map list, which says use the products consistently. It's number 2. So until they've nutted that out, then, like those top 4 things, it's going to be hard for them, isn't it? But if people can just, like, in saying that, guys, you don't want your guys going out and getting a mortgage. But even with an ultimate pack, guys, this is a cheap business to be in compared to anything else. Like compared to for a startup. With an ultimate pack and a member pack, it's like $400 to get started. And you get 20 meals and the products, of course. So you put that versus a cafe versus a trucking company versus being a tradie. You got to buy those tools. They're not cheap. Versus any other type of business, whether it be self-employed or not, it's a cheap business. And the beauty of it is you can focus on yourself while you're helping others as well. If you're doing any other business, I'm telling you, your self-care isn't a priority. You putting in enough hours to make the thing float is a priority. Yeah? So it comes down to your mindset as well. And how much important, like that, people won't have a sense of urgency that you don't give them. So they need to know how important it is. And the other thing as well, guys, when you've got someone's goals there in front of you, and this ties into the events as well, I say, this is my expectation of you to achieve these goals. And it's pretty strong, but you've got to have some expectation. Like, if you want to achieve these goals, this is what I'd expect. Number 1, you've got to get on as much product as you can. And that might be shopping from your own shop as well. So if you have to cut back on drinking Friday, Saturday, Sunday, so you can actually afford getting an extra tea or an extra shake or whatever it is so you can get through the month, that's what you got to do. We're talking about a change of their life, and we're talking about making lots and lots of money. It'd be silly to say there's not going to be any bloody change in their life. They have to make a change. There's a reason why they're not where they want to be. It's because they're doing what they're doing right now, right? So things like, and there's so many easy ways to spend money that people are spending already to do volume. And if you had the best team at shopping from your own shop in Herbalife, your royalty check would grow consistently every single month. Things like putting the soap in your pumpy soaps. This is just stuff that we do here. Of course, just using the products, like having 2 shakes a day. Very hard to compete against $40 or $42 for a shake. So $2 a meal. Very hard to compete against, especially with all the nutrition in there. Things like having protein bars for your snacks, for you and the kids. Kids like destroy that stuff, protein bars. Not having those couple of coffees when you're out and about that are costing you $4 a pop anyway, and having a tea. Like, all these different things, guys, we can change and add volume into our business. And it costs you nothing. It's just a swap. Another super cool thing that you guys will be pumped about, because you're on this call, I'll tell you, don't tell anyone, don't put it on your social media yet, is in July. No, when's the extravaganza? June. Either June or July. I should know this. I literally got off a call about this today. Herbalife are bringing back the shampoo and conditioner in Australia, clinically proven to strengthen your hair by 10 times. I know that's amazing, Matt, isn't it? Look at this stuff. No more. You know what was funny? Has anyone ever seen Kim Brammer? I called him out on the call and I said, Kim, you should be the one that demos this stuff. Like, Kim's as bald as a 8-ball. Like, seriously, there's nothing there. So that was funny. So amazing product. It's not the one we used to have. If you guys ever had that, I don't know if you ever had that, Bobby, like the shampoo and conditioner. Only here. So it's the same one from the States. So for example, swapping out your shake, or what soap are you using in the shower, what body wash, that type of stuff. Like, it's not hard stuff. It's not hard things to change. But what it does is give you way more conviction and way more belief in the products. It's the 15th of either June or July. It's one of them. They'll release it at the SDS in Melbourne. It's one of them. You could probably check the dates in that. 15th of June. So it's next month. Yeah. So it'll be good. Be good. So think of all the VIPs and stuff that wouldn't mind a good shampoo and keeps chopping and changing, or would be willing to give it a go. And when it's released as well, guys, you get a green Herbalife toiletry bag, which I'm pretty excited about, to be honest. So no, seriously, the amount of travel I do, I can't find a good toiletry bag anywhere. It sucks. I used to use the old skin ones, but one thing pops and then it's everywhere, all over my toothbrush. So that's a fun experience for the first few times you brush your teeth. It's hard to get good stuff. So hopefully the Herbalife green one's a good one. So guys, hopefully that answered a lot of your questions about recruiting, but really it's just belief, guys, and numbers. Like, I didn't listen to the Eric Worre thing for 2.5, 3 years, and I just fumbled my way into it, and he just sharpened me up a bit. Yep.
Can you finish the expectations that you had for our team?
Oh, yeah, sorry. Bobby just asked, can I finish the expectations that I have? And number 1's product use. And number 2, and I say, listen, I honestly can't work with anyone that doesn't use the products. You're not using the products, we can't work together. Because I just know I know it's a waste of my time, because in 6 months you're not going to be hanging around. So I just know. Like, I've been around long enough to see the correlation. I'm telling you, 100% of the people that don't use the products in their first 6 weeks, it's a slippery slope. So they've got to be using the products. But the second one I have is them. I said, do you think it's a big ask to spend 1 day a month getting trained and 1 night a week getting trained in this online? So you can do that one from home, and then 1 day a month getting trained by people who are killing the game in this business. Do you think that's a lot to ask for you to be able to achieve these goals? This is me and my new guy. And they'll say, no. Rob Walsh said to me on my day 6 in the business, he goes, if I told you could be a millionaire if you attend 12 classes a year, would you go? 12 days a year of training, would you go? And I was like, of course. And he said, good, because there's one every month. It's called the SDS, or the BTS for us. So just make sure you're there so you can learn some stuff. And I'd write notes if I was you. Because one day if you go, all right, you're going to have to train this. So it's the same approach. And me personally, I wasn't hard enough on that. And now that's, like, after I just had a chat to, actually, do you guys know Wayne Levy? Just a real, like, a 2-minute conversation with him. And he said, this is what I do. And I was like, that's what I'm doing then. Because I had to change something, because I had a lot of people that weren't ordering the product. Well, not a lot of people, but I had a lot of people not prioritizing the trainings and events, which some still do, right? But I think on average, I think the numbers are growing, because everyone, like, once that's the culture amongst our group, guys, And if everyone on this call got on every week and then start to add their people, eventually we'll have 100 people on this call and everyone here will be changing pins. You just got to work out how many of those people are in your business. Because kids, no kids, like work's a different kettle of fish, I guess. But, we can send someone the recording of this and they can watch it. Like it's not that hard. Like that, they have to love themselves enough and respect themselves enough to do the training required to achieve what they want. Because at the moment, they have a shortage of skills. That's the problem. So if they had those skills and they were, or a shortage of skills or a shortage of action, and both would kill you. But if you could choose, you'd have a shortage of skills because you can outwork talent, right? Like if I wanted to recruit 10 people a month and I knew, like if that was my serious goal and I knew I was getting 1 out of 10, you'd just go out and have those 100 conversations, wouldn't you? Or have those 100 meetings so you could recruit the 10. It's just the way it is. But when that starts to duplicate, guys, it's powerful. Yeah, Julia was like right on the edge. But Julia came in as a VIP client anyway. So that was different, right? I'm talking business builders. You got to understand the difference. Business builder, intent to make money. VIP, intent to use product. Just because they're signed up doesn't mean they're a business builder. And when I say recruiting people, I mean business builders. But in those numbers I told you with the 107, it's just both, because you can't, when I actually run the reports, it doesn't say VIP or business builder. It's the same thing, right? Same process, different mindset. And if someone's a VIP and you're trying to push the business on them, but they're a VIP, you will lose them. There's some crazy stat that's over 75% that most clients in network marketing stop being clients because the business is getting pushed on them. And you don't need to do that if you're doing the numbers. That's a huge fishing in the same small pond again. Not looking at the billions of people in the world that need help. Cool. So I wasn't talking about you, Julia, but it's good to see you're a senior consultant now. Actually, this is her first royalty workshop, and she's at the stump, I think. So let's give her a clap for getting promoted. That was good. Good stuff. Going for the World Team School. Talk about hunger. She's not supervisor yet. Just went senior consultant and just wants the World Team School based on an SDS. So there's some clues there as well. But guys, I guess in closing, if your intent is to go to the World Team School, this is the last month. They actually changed the qualifications and made me a liar. So long story short, I'm going to explain the World Team qualifications to you. Who on this call right now either finished their 4th month of 2.5 in August last year, or have done some component of World Team from August to, well, it'll be August to August. Cole? And I think Megatron as well, right? So they'll be in Manly with Mark and Gilati. It's going to be an incredible event, guys. Like the World Team School is always the pinnacle. And Ideas Data has another one coming up in November too. Hey?
The party's amazing. Just had to add that in.
The party is amazing. It's definitely the best Herbalife party because there's less people. So it's more, what's the right word? Intimate. You get to hang around people that you might have seen off the stage and they're just over there having a beer, so you can go have a chat to them. Right? So it's cool. You mentioned that thing that you said on stage. I didn't quite understand it. Can you explain that to me? They're like, yeah, sure. Blah, blah, blah. And you're like, oh, it makes perfect sense. Like that's the party. It's a really good networking runaround. So they'll be amazing. But if you're currently in qualification for the World Team School, or you're looking to qualify, it has to be your first month. If you're choosing to do the 2.5 weight, has to be this month. And of course, after this month, you can do 10,000 personal volume or 500 royalty points. But 2.5 is easier. You just got to be a little bit consistent. And if you get this recruiting thing down pat, and actually apply, like I'm talking times 10 action, and go crazy and have a crack. And a lot of people will say no, and some people will say yes, and you can really set up that 10K month. Because it's really just a couple of people having a crack at supervisor guys, and you've got 10K nearly in the bag. So it's always possible. And I just think the standards in the team's just pretty low at the moment. So everyone thinks it's hard, but it's actually not hard. There's just a mindset as well. So with your standards, don't compare yourself to anyone else. Just know exactly what you can achieve. And you're the only person, like your success in Herbalife's only limited to your imagination and your hard work. And that's a quote from the founder, Mark Hughes. The other thing we have coming up, guys, that I want to release on this call for you is a little promotion that we're cooking up. And I'm just going to give you I'm not going to release the full quals because I've still got to crunch the numbers. I didn't have time to do it today. But it's going to be around the extravaganza in Germany. So Euro trip. Anyone else excited about a Euro trip as me or not? Because I was going to go anyway, so I thought I might as well ring you guys. We'll get a big share place. It's in Cologne. And then afterwards, we'll all hitch some hikes up to Oktoberfest because it literally starts the next day. So not only will you get some world-class training, but we'll get to go to a iconic thing that's on my goals list. Once again, I was going to go anyway. And depending on what you do, will be depending on how much of that I pay for. Yeah. So if we're looking at 5K months, I'll get your flights and a comp. You can just pay for your ticket and your food and all that other stuff. But I mean, ticket to the events. World-class beer after a world-class training. Correct. And then maybe we'll have a smaller qualification for people who have got their do a different amount, and I just get the accommodation. So I think that would be sick, personally. And I'm thinking like 5,000 and 3,000 for that event, for that one as well, which I think is pretty fair. So it'll be a whole bunch of fun. So get geared up for that. Get out your Oktoberfest clothes. And I'm losing my voice, but yeah, it's good. That's going to be nuts as well. Next SDS, what was it? The 15th? Yeah. Is the 15th because of extravaganza. There won't be a BTS next month. So what we're thinking is we'll just gear up a bus and go down to the SDS in June. So we just all jump on the bus, go to the event, come home, don't have to worry about driving or anything like that, and maybe just chuck in $20 each or something, and free for members and guests, I was thinking. So supervisor, I'm sure we could all chuck in $20 just to ease the load, just to put fuel in it or something, and then the members and stuff, because it's their first time, we want them exposed to the bigger opportunity. Hopefully it flows into future superstars in the team. So we'll just make it free for members or members who haven't been, free ticket, free bus ride as well, maybe something like that. So hopefully you guys like the sound of that as well. Try to get 20, 30 people there. And then we have, I'm sure we got stuff, but I'm pretty fried at the moment. That's about it. Am I forgetting anything, Carl? You're all over it. Nah? Cool.
I think that's all.
Oh, did everyone see the amount of stuff you get with those sports bags? Crazy. So if you ever wanted to try the sports range, now's the time. You get $100 worth of stuff with it. Like I when it said up to, I was expecting it to be like maybe a shaker and a badge and something, but it's like 2 journals. Like I think Bobby put a photo in the Empire Squad results, so go check that out. So cool. Lots of value. And that's it, guys. So hopefully that answers your question. But once again, you can write all these down and we kind of recover recruiting a bit. But if we don't actually apply it, it's not going to change for you. So make sure you take some action after tonight's call. I'd love to see when I post the recording, which will be tonight, I'd love to see what type of action steps you're going to take in the comments. And were people getting points for this for Star Squads? No, because not everyone's qualified. So it's just Coach Academy. Cool. So no code word required. But can't think of anything else. Cool. All right, guys. Secret question. Do you think Cole will ever do her hair for Coach Academy or Royalty Workshop? Well, that's the secret question, so you can ask your people that. I think the answer is no, by the way, if you have to give them an answer. But that can be the secret question. Or do you think Janice can ever jump on the calls and not be unmuted? We miss Janice. Someone give her a call tomorrow. All right, guys. You guys have a good night. Hopefully, you guys learned something. I'm going to post this up on Royalty Workshop right now. And have a good night, guys. Love your feedback. Bye.